Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Where to Publish versus Journal versus Conference. I am Putri Nur Hidayah and I will be your moderator today. On behalf of Unit Penulisan dan Penerbitan, Bahagian Penyelidikan, Jaringan Industri dan Alumni, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you with a Malay pantun. Mencari timba si anak dara di bawah sarang burung tempur. Salam sembah pembuka bicara. Selamat datang untuk semua. Let us seek His blessings by reciting Ummu Kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone who are able to join us today. If you have any questions, you can write it at the chat section and I will read them during our Q&A session. We also show you the QR code for attendance at the end of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit about our speaker today. Professor T.S. Dr. Roziati binti Ibrahim is from the Department of Software Engineering, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, University Tun Hussein On, Malaysia. She was born here in Segamat, or what we call Sega Amat. She started her teaching profession in 1992, where she taught RTM for 3 years and Unimas for 10 years before she joined UTHM in 2005. She obtained her PhD in Information Technology, Software Specification in 2000 at Queensland University of Technology, Brisbane, Australia. She has published more than 200 papers in international and national refereed journals, and to date, she has received a total of about 2.4 million ringgit Malaysia in research grants. Without further ado, let me welcome our speaker today, Professor T.S. Dr. Roziati binti Ibrahim, to give her talk on where to publish journal versus conference. The floor is yours, Professor.
Okay, thank you very much, Nurul. Welcome everybody to my talk. Let me thank you for the sweet introduction. Absolutely, I was born in Segamat. So I lived there in my zaman kanak-kanak. So it was a sweet memory. We used to have orang kata tanah lah over there, but my father jual tanah tu, so now no more memory in Segamat. So let me start by sharing my slide. So just if you are able to see my slide presentation. Can you see the slide presentation?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. As what was introduced just now, I'm Roziati Ibrahim from the Department of Software Engineering, FSKTM, which is UTHM in Batu Pahat, Johor. It's about 1.5 hours journey from Batu Pahat to Segamat. So if you want, I forgot to put my email. If you want to contact me, you can just email me roziati@uthm.edu.my or roziati@gmail.com. Okay, for today's talk, I'm going to talk about where to publish. Either you want to publish in journals or you want to publish in conference. Okay, so before I begin my talk, just a little bit more about me. I got my PhD in Information Technology in 2000 from Queensland University of Technology. I was given a chance to go there again as visiting fellow in 2017 to 2018. I was professor from 2011 until now, and bear in mind that I was a lecturer back in 1992 until 1995 in ITM. It was Institute Technology Mara last time. So now we call it UITM, yeah. So prior to that, because I really want to go further up my study, so I joined Unimas in 1995, and I went for my PhD in 1996. Okay, I got my PhD in 2000. So looking at my career path, I'm just telling you, my career path started with the Deputy Dean of Academic Affairs at UNIMAS for 5 years. And when I moved to UTHM, I was the Deputy Director for the Center of Research and Innovation. After that, I was the Dean of the faculty for 4 years. And then I moved to the Dean for the Research and Development Center for another 5 years. And after that, I was the menjalankan tugas Timbalan Naik Chancellor for a little while. And then apart from my academic line and my administration line, I really want to inform all of you, the audience especially, even though you have a lot of admin posts or whatever jawatan kuasa, nevertheless, you have to remember, being an academician, the important part as your academic line is always your publication and your grant, apart from the admin post and others. So I just want to let you know that whatever that you do, please do remember publication is important in academic line as well as grant. Okay, so you as a member or as a project leader, grant and publication are important. Okay, so just a little bit more about my profile. When you have your publication, it will relate the publication with your H index. Okay, so once you publish, then you have your H index. For example, Google Scholar and Scopus. The least H index there you must have is your Google Scholar. Later on, I will show you how to create a Google Scholar profile, so that all your publication that is indexed by Google Scholar will be published within your Google Scholar profile if it is published by you, and if it is cited by other people, automatically your H index will go up. So just a little bit information about my Google Scholar H index 17 and H index Scopus is 10. Usually the Google Scholar H index will be higher than Scopus H index, and of course now they are looking at the Pablon, the World of Science WOS H index as well. Okay, so enough about me. Let us be more serious regarding the content of today's talk. So for today's talk, I will talk about the publication in terms of conference papers and article journals. We will look into the both stream, either it is conference papers or article journal. And then, of course, when you want to publish, you are looking at index publication. If it is not index publication, then of course it would not go to your H index profile. So you might want to select any publication, either conference paper or article journal, as an index publication. So we will look into Google Scholar, Scopus, and a little bit more higher than Google Scholar and Scopus is World of Science, WOS. And then under the journal, we have quartile, whether it is Q1, Q2, Q3 or Q4. And if it is in quartile, it could be, we have an impact factor. Okay, ada 0.1, 1, 2, 3. The journal must have the impact factor. Only article journal has the quartile and impact factor. Conference paper is only index paper or unindexed publication. Okay, and then the last content is where to publish. Okay, so let us first look at the conference papers. As I said just now, if you want to publish at conference papers, you can publish the conference paper with non-index publication. But non-index publication will not give a lot of merit. It will just give you a publication without any indexing, and then if people cite your paper, you would not get any advantage of it. Yeah. But the minimum conference paper that you want to do is conference paper that is indexed by Google Scholar. That is the minimum one. So always look at the call for paper, CFP, for conference paper that is indexed by Google Scholar. And then sometimes the conference paper, call for paper, there should be a line within the call for paper that says that the paper will be indexed by Google Scholar, or the paper will be indexed by IEEE Explore, or the paper will be indexed by Corpus. Usually for conference paper is either non-indexed or indexed by Google Scholar, IEEE or Scopus. Yeah. This is just an example. This is the ZAC specification for exam scheduling system through genetic algorithm. Last year, there is this publication. If I could just, I don't think so. Okay, just let me share you regarding this paper. If you want to produce a conference paper, sometime you have the work done by the student, then you can polish their project and submit as a paper. Okay, I really want to tell you on the easiestness of this paper. I have to escape a while, and then I have to go to here. Can you see the paper?
Yes.
Can I? Can
Yes.
you see the paper? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. For this particular paper, you can see that the conference is, this is the free one, the International Conference on Computing and Information Technology, University of Tabo. So United Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, I just want to let you know, for this particular conference, Tabo University always in IEEE Explore, you can just explore the page of IEEE and you can just explore University of Tabo. University of Tabo organize a conference almost every single year, and the fees is free, and you don't have to pay for the publication, and your paper will be indexed by IEEE Explore and it is indexed by Scopus as well. So for this particular paper, I don't have to pay for the fee, for the publication fee. I don't have to pay because it is free, and once it is free, it's going to be published free as well. So this is as long as your university, your institute has the IEEE Explore subscription, you can download the paper freely as well. Okay, so for this particular example, this is just a project by the student. So again, if you want to produce a conference paper, you can start with introduction, and then you can start a bit about algorithm. And if you are familiar with something like this, you can start with the requirement, you can start with the UML use case diagram and the class diagram, and then a bit of discussion. For example, I do the Z specification, and then after that just shows the genetic algorithm, and then a little bit about the discussions. Okay, and that's about it. And then for IEEE Explore exam, maximum page is 5. Okay, so you cannot, that's why the project, if it is just a very light discussion, you can always go for conference paper that is indexed by IEEE Explore, because it is only 5 pages. Yeah, I share this again. Uh-huh. But then if it is, can you see the slide presentation? Okay, this is just an example of the student work for the conference paper. Can you see my slide presentation? Audience, ask me whether you can see the slide or not. Okay, I
Yes, Prof.
proceed with the article journal. Of course, when you have the, just now it's a conference paper, now is the article journal. So if it is journal, of course, you can opt to go for non-index journal. Again, as I said, you have no merit if it is non-index. At least look at article journal that is indexed by Google Scholar or indexed by IEEE Explore. So if it is a journal, it indexed by WOS. Sometimes journal with impact factor and sometimes journal with kata. So you must see the call for paper and see the home page of the journal, whether it's indexed by Google Scholar, IEEE Explore, Scopus, WOS, or journal with impact factor or journal with kata. Okay, so again, this is just another example for the journal. It has been translated from the project Sejarah Anak Muda because for me, for example, we have a degree program, so there is a project Sejarah Muda for the degree program, so we can just convert the project Sejarah Muda into article journal, and for this particular article journal it was indexed by Scopus. Yeah, so for example, just not the heavy part, but generating test cases from mobile application using depth first search and backtracking technique. So as usual, we have depth first search, which is more familiar algorithm, and backtracking technique, which is another algorithm. So we just compare two of the algorithm and we generate test cases. And this is really based on the students' work. So we produce the paper publication for that particular one, and which is indexed by Scopus. Now, why publication is important? This is an example. If you ask for grant, for example, we have Fundamental Research Grant Scheme for 2021. They request at least journal, okay, dua penerbitan artikel dalam jurnal terindeks WOS, Corpus, Era or Masad. Okay, satu publication mesti terindeks di Web of Science. So yang ini penting. So even kalau you dapat grant pun, dia akan minta penerbitan journal. So sebenarnya conference paper is you have a very light discussion from your student punya project, you can publish for conference paper. Tapi kalau you ada grant, sebagai contoh FRGS, dan you boleh submit kepada jurnal publication yang diindeks, okay, jurnal penerbitan jurnal terindeks. And then bila you ada grant, usually fees, publication fees akan you boleh minta gunakan grant untuk publish, ya. Usually kalau you tak ada duit untuk publication, you opt for conference papers ataupun jurnal yang free, so that you tak perlu keluarkan duit untuk penerbitan punya fees. Tapi kalau you ada grant, so you boleh buat penerbitan yang terindeks menggunakan grant. Okay, and then this no matter whatever that you want to publish, you must opt for index publication. Okay, index publication dia ada 5 pillars, 5 pillars. Okay, index publication kalau conference paper, you tengok sama ada dia index by Google Scholar or index by Scopus. If it is journal, if you usually for your first publication, you always go for conference paper. Okay, which is more light because conference paper only maximum 6 pages. Okay, 4 to 5 pages you can publish already with a small project output for your result and discussion. Okay, minimum index is Google Scholar. Yeah, if you have Google Scholar, then it will translate into your H index for your Google Scholar. And then after your Google Scholar, then you might want to look into higher index paper, which is Corpus, because it will translate your publication with once it is cited, then H index for Scopus will increase. And nowadays, even the grant for Kementerian Ministry of Higher Education at MOHE, it asks you to publish under WOS. Okay, so you probably have another H index in WOS where you can have the Google the H index for WOS under Pavlon. Probably later on, UITM might want to invite me again for another talk. For example, how to create your H index for WOS, for example, how to cite and then get your H index increase and so on. Okay, another pillar is that once you publish, for example, for article journal, you might want to look at the quartile, because the higher quartile you have for Q1, not Q4, Q4 is the lowest one, Q1 is the highest one. If you get published under Q1, then it means that your publication is in a very high merit. And in certain institution, they will give you, for example, for us last time, if we have managed to publish article journal with quartile 1, we will get grant allocation 5,000 for us to publish more. So meaning that we can use that grant allocation to publish more, and then the publication fee will be supported by the grant. Okay, same as impact factor. Some journal it has an impact factor or IF. Usually they call IF. Impact factor has the impact, the number, whether it's between 0 to 0.99, 1 to 1.99, 2 to 2.99, 3 to 3.99, or above 4. If you are able to publish article journal under IF impact factor with 4 and above, then it is a very high merit. Again, in some institution, if you have IF, especially 4 and above or 3 and above, they usually give you grant money or the bonus money for you because you managed to publish with journal with IF. It depends on the institutions. Some institution, they want their staff to publish more, to the more quality instead of quantity, because the quality one does matter in terms of MIRA calculations and so on. We are not looking at quantity, we are looking at quantity. So if you are able to, once a year or twice a year, you are able to produce a paper under quartile 1, or you manage to publish one paper with impact factor, then it is already a good and quality article. So rather than publish 5 papers, you might as well just focus on one paper with a quality one. So usually at this point in time, we always look at the quality one. Same, for example, FRGS, for 3 years, they just look at 2 publication. Okay, 3 years, 2 publication, not 3 years, 5 publication, but only 2 publication. But then again, it should be indexed by WOS, so which is a very high merit for the quality article journal. Yeah, so at this point in time, Ibran Mohe is looking at the quality one, not the quantity one. Okay, this is the minimum publication that you want to publish. At least it is indexed by Google Scholar. But if it is indexed by Google Scholar, you must have a profile. Okay, without the profile of Google Scholar, your publication will not go into your H-index or H-index of your Google Scholar. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create your own profile. Okay, so if the computer is in front of you, remember of this address, scholar.google.com. Okay, so if you want to create your profile, you go here and then you create your profile using your official email. Because when you publish your paper, your affiliation of your author, for example, Rosiati, you say Rosiati at Department of Software Engineering, UTHM, and then email is rosiati@uthm.edu.my. So that email becomes the official email, and that email will be associated with the profile of your Google Scholar. So when you want to create the profile, you must associate it with the official email. Okay, so once you publish with your email and your profile of your author as Roziati binti Ibrahim, for example, then it will if it is indexed by Google Scholar, so that publication will be automatically added and updated to your profile. Okay, so and then after your paper, let's say a person A cited your paper, then automatically your H index will increase. Okay, we created, and H index will be 1. The more people cite your paper, the more H index you will get. Okay, so basically if your H index is 0, it means that you publish but no one cite your paper, and that is not good. Like people said, kita short sendiri, kita publish, kita short sendiri sebab tak ada orang pun baca kita punya paper, tak ada orang pun cite paper kita, and that is not good. So that's why you always look at the publication that is more on open access, so that people can download your paper and people can cite your paper, so that your H index will increase. So this is the list that you have to do as an academician. Create your Google Scholar. If you do have already the profile, it is good for you. If you don't, after my talk, you can create your profile for your Google Scholar and start publish minimum publication indexed by Google Scholar. Always look at publication that is indexed. Non-indexed publication will not give merit to your academician line. Okay, this is the step that you need to do for creating your Google Scholar profile. You log on to scholar.google.com and click the My Profile link. If you don't have one, you need to click at this link. Okay, and then on the first screen, add your affiliation information, then official email address. Okay, your affiliation, for example, for me, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, and your email is, for me, for example, roziati@uthm.edu.my, because it needs to be verified. Okay, it needs to be verified so that your Google Scholar can confirm your account. And then put your area of research interest, your keywords, subject areas, and so on, so that it will link to the faculty or lab homepage for your profile. Okay, please do remember of the uniqueness of the Google Scholar profile. If you have Roziati Ibrahim and another person has Roziati Ibrahim, that is not good because it is not unique. So make sure that you have a uniqueness of your name. Okay, for Ali bin Ahmad, if it has 100 Ali bin Ahmad, so you might want to create a different kind of profile name, Ali bin Ahmad. So something that is unique for your profile name. So make sure you do that, and then you click next, then your basic profile is done. And then after that, you can just add your publication. Okay, for example, you try in the search icon Roziati Ibrahim and then click all the publication that belongs to you. If any, if there is no publication that belongs to you, it means that you have not published yet for article that is indexed by Google Scholar. So jangan susah hati. You might want to wait for a while and publish any conference paper atau journal that is indexed by Google Scholar. Okay, once you publish any publication that is indexed by Google Scholar, it will be automatically added to your profile with the same name, affiliation and email. So kalau you guna roziati@uthm.edu, sebagai contoh saya, roziati@uthm.edu.my, so every time saya publish roziati@uthm.edu.my, dia akan pick up that email and dia akan automatically add my publication to either Google Scholar or Corpus or WOS. because the profile has been created already. So this is just an example for my Google Scholar profile because it has been created. Once it has been created, it has been verified. Okay, once your profile has been verified by your email, then it will give this, so you can just click homepage. It will go straight to University Tun Usain on Malaysia. This is one way of the uh, for the outside people, especially outside of Malaysia, to know you and to know your university. And webometric akan naik juga kalau every time orang klik UTHM sebagai contoh, webometric of UTHM akan naik. So kalau you nak naikkan webometric of UITM, you kena juga bantu UITM create your Google Scholar. Sepatutnya setiap staff akademik mesti ada Google Scholar profile. Kalau you tak ada Google Scholar profile, you rugi sebab you are an academic person kan. So kalau academician sahaja mesti ada Google Scholar profile. So create Google Scholar profile, tie it with the email of your official email of your university, so that the university link should be there, and then put some of your keyword. So automatically any publication, okay, once that publication is cited in Google Scholar, it will show here. So for example, my publication in 2011, steganography algorithm to hide secret message inside an image, it has a very high cite, which is 112 researchers cite this particular paper, and that's why the higher citation is, the higher your H index will become. So for example, my H index for Google Scholar is 17, and my publication for citation is 1440. Okay, so for the Google Scholar, it is easier to publish article, journal or conference paper that is indexed by Google Scholar. This is the least index publication that you can go. Okay, the next one is a bit more higher one, which is Corpus profile. Okay, if you want to submit journal, you might want to opt to journal that is published and it is indexed by Scopus. So at this point in time, if you have with the IPTA, it's free for the Scopus for you to serve because it's still under MOHE subscription. Then you can go via your library to get the Scopus database because now the database of Scopus is subscribed by MOHE, so we should get it freely. Okay, so for example, my is different from the Google profile and Google Scholar profile. My citation for Scopus is 351 and I have 105 only for the document. So Scopus is higher than Google Scholar. Google Scholar, the least index is Google Scholar. Do not go for publication that is not indexed because you don't have the merit for non-index publication. At least indexed by Google Scholar, indexed by Scopus. Yeah. Or if you can, it's indexed by World of Science. You can create your profile under Pablon. Okay, so if you want later on, we can have another session for how to create your profile under WIS using Pablon. So at this point in time, my publication is only 56 and my H index is only 3 because it is a higher merit of Web of Science. And Pablon WIS tied your publication with OCAD. You must have an OCAD. You must create your OCAD ID. And how to create your Web of Science Research ID and OCAD ID. Probably I can give another talk for this particular one if you want to embarking into the World of Science publication, and you must have OCAD ID so that it will be more easier for you to have a unique ID for OCAD and research ID. Okay, this is just how do you want to know whether the conference is indexed or it is non-indexed conference. So when you look at call for paper, for example, this is the second International Recent Trend in Energy Engineering and Computing Conference. RTEC 2021. When you receive call for paper, when you read the call for paper, it will always say something like this: IRR 2021 proceeding will be published in American Institute of Physics AIP conference proceeding. AIPCP is a peer-reviewed and open access publication. It is indexed in Scopus and Google Scholar. So this statement is very important for you to choose which conference that you want to publish your paper. You can just go to this particular address and to submit your publication for the conference paper. Okay, this is a very good one because it is a broad area and it has artificial intelligence, software engineering, and so many sub areas. And it is guaranteed that your publication is indexed by Scopus. And I think for the publication fees is only 900, and you don't have to go there because this is a virtual publication. It is a virtual presentation and it is an international conference held in Malaysia, but international conference, it is in 28 and 29 August. At the same time, it is virtual presentation. You don't have to go to Kota Baru for your presentation, and the publication fee is only about 850 or 900. So you can, some university, they will sponsor your publication fees, or if you have 2 or 3 publication authors, you can share among yourself 200 each for 5 people, then you get publish your paper. Yeah. That is just as one initiative for you to start with publication, at least one publication. Okay, for journal, or for either it is conference or journal, you always want to look at an open access. Open access means people who wants to read your paper, they can download it freely. If it is not open access, they have to pay your the download paper. Okay, so if it is open access, it's free. So for example, International Journal of Advanced Computer Science and Application, IJACSA, is an open access. And then when you look at call for paper homepage, it says here, the papers of this journal are submitted to Web of Science Scopus. So basically, it is indexed by WOS and indexed by Scopus. Okay, and it's also open access. The good advantage of the open access is that people can download it and they can cite our paper, they can read our paper and cite our paper. So that's why it is good for you to publish any article, journal, or conference paper that has an open access capability. And then for this particular one, I think it's quite expensive. I think it's about 450 USD or 450 euro. That I think it's about 2,000 plus per publication. But because of now, you have to remember, if it's WOS, the piece is more expensive compared to the Google Scholar. Now WOS, but then if you have grant, and usually the institution or university, it has the one of budget to sponsor the staff to pay the article journal fees. Okay, so look at this particular one and you can inquiry for your research management center whether they can sponsor your publication fees if it is published indexed by WS. By right, if it is indexed by WOS, it give a high merit to your institution, and probably your institution want to pick up your publication fees. For example, at UTHM, if it is indexed by WOS, if you don't have grant, the Research Management Center will pick up the grant. You just have to submit the form to them and they will sponsor the publication fees. This is just an example of UTHM. I'm not quite sure about UITM, but I'm quite sure that you can work on something like that to get the publication fees sponsored by the university. Okay, another publication if it is quartal. Okay, for example, Indonesian Journal of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. In the home page, it shows you the quartile Q3 with the impact factor. Okay, so it is quartile quartile Q3. Within the home page, it already shows you the quartile and it shows you the impact factor RF. Okay, so if you want more high merit publication, you can go for the quartile one with the impact factor. This is just an example of the publication with quartile and with IF. Yeah. Okay, another publication, for example, IEEE. I managed to publish one IEEE last 2 years. You cannot publish with impact factor every single year because for this particular publication, it took minimum 6 months for the review process. Sometimes 6 months to 1 year for the review process. Okay, and for this particular one, for IEEE access, the IF is 3.745 and is an open access. With the high impact factor, then the merit is very high. But for this particular one, the publication fees is 7,500. It's quite expensive, but the IF is 3.745. Again, when I publish my paper in IEEE SS, we have grant. Okay, so usually grant will pick up the publication. So let's say if you ask for grant, FRGS for example, there is a column for you to put the publication for WOS. For IEEE SS, you can ask for 7,500 for MOE. They would not slash it if you want to publish in IEEE SS because again, as I said, MOHE is looking at quality publication, not quantity one. Even though it's 7,500 publication fee because the quality is there with IF 3.745, MOHE definitely will give that publication fees budget provided your grant has been accepted. Yeah. Okay, where to publish? There is just a bit few more. I will finish at about 11 o'clock so that I will have an ample time for question and answer. Now, when you want to publish your paper, either it is conference paper or article journal, you have to consider a few things. One is publication fees. Publication fees is very important. If you have grant, then the publication fees will somehow or other your grant will pick up to pay your publication fees. But then if it is, for example, 7,500, the fees is 7,500. Definitely you are not going to pay that 7,500 with your own pocket money. So for the first if you don't have grant, you might want to look into the publication fee that is free. For example, the one that I show you just now, University Tabuk, the IEEE Explore, that publication fees is free. So always look at the free one so that you don't have to come up with money for the publication fees. Okay, so if it is free, then your paper got published with no publication fees. Yeah, so look at the publication fees. That is the first thing that you need to consider. Okay, because if it is too expensive, if you know that you don't have grant and you really want to publish, for example, in IEEE SS, who's going to pay the publication fees? Are you going to pay 7,500 for that publication? So if you don't have any sources, if let's say the university want to sponsor, then that is okay. If you don't have any sources to sponsor for the publication fees, always look at the free one. Okay. And then the second one that you want to look is the open access one. Okay, open access is important as well because people can, researchers or other researchers can download your paper freely. Okay, so that they can cite your paper. If it is not open access, it is not good. It's not that you don't have tak boleh publish. It's just that it is not good because people cannot download your paper and because of the copyright and so on. You have to remember you cannot just post. For example, if it is has copyright, you put your publication in Facebook and later on you get sued because of that, because of the copyright from the publisher. You have to remember that you cannot give your publication freely to others if it has copyright and if it is not open access. Etik you mesti ingat bila you publish your paper, you kena sign satu copyright transfer form. That copyright you kena baca betul-betul the do and the don'ts of the copyright. Because if you get excited, you get published and then you letak dekat Facebook and later on you kena saman because of your copyright punya issue. Okay, and the third one is the cross IPTA atau cross faculty. Okay, sebagai contoh, first author is you, second author saya dekat UTHM. Yang cross IPT ni is good for you if you have your area yang sama and kawan-kawan di different IPT, because yang ni beri merit yang tinggi untuk MyRA dan untuk you punya institution as well. Okay, dua benda yang akan beri contribution kepada markah MyRA adalah cross IPT and collaborate with industry. If you have authors that has cross IPT, if you have authors that comes from industry, it will give you sebagai contoh dalam MyRA double count. Okay, double count in a sense that dia dapat markah untuk penerbitan punya markah and markah untuk penerbitan with industry. So maksudnya dua. And kalau you familiar dengan MyRA sebagai contoh, publication punya markah tak ada caps. Okay, so you boleh maximum 200 markah, 200%. So bila tak ada cap ni, usually institution atau RMC dia akan galakkan dia punya pensyarah ataupun academic staff to publish and then collaborate with industry. And then again, when you want to publish, you have to remember it is your academic requirements. Sebagai contoh, bila you DS 45, you nak naik ke DS 52, or you are 52, you nak naik ke DS 54, or daripada 54 ke JUSA, academic requirement for article journal and corporate papers itu adalah penting. Usually orang akan typekan publication dengan you punya graduan atau masters or PhD or you punya projek sarjana muda. Okay, so benda ni you kena pairkan dengan academic requirement for article journal and academic requirement for conference proceeding. Sebagai contoh, DS 45, what is your institution requirement? Sebagai contoh, untuk kami DS 45, satu publication, either conference or article journal per year. Per year. If you 52, you have article journal and corporate paper, dua penerbitan pada article journal and corporate paper per year. Okay, DS 45 1, DS 52 2, DS 54 5, JUSA macam saya ada 7 penerbitan per year. So 7 penerbitan bukan yang senang kalau you nak fikir. That's why you always tight with your student. Okay, so kalau student ada publication, then you polishkan dia punya work and then publishkan so that you get the publication for that particular year. To maintain 7 publication per year is not that easy, but if you have student, you always motivate student to publish so that you can polish the work, then you can publish at article or conference proceeding. Okay, so number of publication per year, that's what saya cakap tadi, it depends on your post, whether you are 40, DS 45, 52, 54 or JUSA, it will have a certain number of publication per year. Now, if you have grant, you always look at the payment of fees and the good quality ones. Sebagai contoh, saya punya my grant FRJS, saya publish ke IEEE SS so that 7,500 itu dibayar oleh grant. Memanglah dia mahal, tetapi because kita nak the quality one and then it being kita pairkan dia dengan publication yang ada grant, so that and then with acknowledgement, bila you publish with yang ada grant, you kena ada acknowledgement kat papernya, this work of research is sponsored by research grant, FRJS research grant under MOHE with word number apa. Yang tu kena ada. Certain acknowledgement is required if you want to publish with MOHE's grant. Yeah. Okay, so this is just an example. Example for if you can go to this, you might want to subscribe so that you can receive an email for call for paper. I always subscribe call for paper conference in Malaysia, but even though it's in Malaysia, but it is still an international conference. So you will be able to have choices for you to choose which conference that you want to submit your paper. Especially in Malaysia, the fees, if you are Malaysian, then the fees is only 800 or 900. Don't go for conference paper that the fees is very high. If the conference paper, the fees is 2,000, then better go for journal. Okay. If you want to publish in conference paper, you always look at the fees that is less than 1,000. If the fees is 2,000, then you might as well publish your paper to journal. Okay, so the fees does matter, because article journals has a high merit compared to conference paper. Even in Myra, article journal point is higher than conference paper point. And even in your kenaikan pangkat pun, your article journal punya markah akan lebih tinggi daripada conference paper punya markah. So because of that, you always go for article journal if the fees is more than 2,000, and if the fees is less than 1,000, then you go for conference paper. So far I never see any article journal less than 1,000 the fees. Usually is an average of 2,000, or like IEEE SS is 7,000. But the with impact factor, high impact factor, the Elsevier or Springer, their publication fees is free. Okay, some of the very good quality journal, the publication is free, but the process of reviewing the paper is quite tedious. Minimum average publication is 1 year to 18 months. Yeah, there's certain journal that the publication fee is free, okay, but it's quite tedious to go there. Okay, this is an example of the call for paper conference in computer science engineering. So you can see this is the address just now, conference in Malaysia. So when you go into that URL address, you can see some of the publication, and you can click on it, and you can see whether it's indexed by Google Scholar, Corpus, or it is non-indexed. Conference paper. So it is important for you to subscribe for call for paper so that you are always aware of the conference that is available within that particular year. Yeah? So you can subscribe to publish in conference paper. And another publication is Jatit. This you have to remember, this is only indexed by Google Scholar. When you look at the homepage of the article journal, if it is not highlighted, that one dia dah ditarik balik oleh Scopus. Okay, Jatit, for example, last time is indexed in Scopus, but now no more. Okay, no more because it's under monitored. Once it's no more, it's only indexed by Google Scholar, and if you want to go there, it's indexed by Google Scholar. I think the fees now has been reduced to 50 USD. 50 times 5 is about 250 ringgit Malaysian. If you does not really matter whether it's indexed by Google Scholar or Scopus, you can go for Jatit, because at this point in time the publication fees is only 50 USD, because Scopus dah tarik balik dia punya indexing. So because it's only indexed by Google Scholar, the publication fee is only 50. So this is if you have one paper, the least indexing is Google Scholar lah, so that your H index will increase if you publish in Google Scholar. So you can publish at Jatit, which is indexed by Google Scholar. Okay. Okay, again, another journal publication. This is the Q3 with impact factor. Okay, just a little bit more slide. I just want to tell you that your research is complete only after the result are published. So if you buat research, especially if you buat masters or your PhD, your supervisor will always say that you have to publish your work. Because kalau tak nanti semua orang tak tahu. Saya pernah mengalami satu pengalaman. Saya ada student, PhD student, situ kita nak formalize UML specification. Pada masa yang sama kita tak tahu another researchers from overseas is trying to do the same thing. Okay, exactly the same domain, the same problem. So luckily we managed to publish first, so we can claim our work. That's why publication is important. Even though publication within your conference paper, it does not really matter. That's why because conference paper is only 4 to 5. It's up to your methodology. It's up to your framework. You don't really have to. You can see your future works and you are implementing their framework and so on. So with conference paper, it's not necessary for you to have results and to discuss your results. You can just publish your paper up to the framework and you put conclusion and future work. You said you are implementing the framework. Then you already can publish your paper for the conference paper. But if for the journal, you cannot do that. If you put that you don't have the result, you are in the middle of implementing it, definitely journal will reject it because there is no results. Journal is always looking at your results. Okay, so if you want to publish the first paper regarding your research, always go for conference paper. Towards the end of your project, of your research, you already have your results, then you can publish at journal. Okay, if you only have framework, you want to publish at journal, then there is a danger that your paper will got rejected. So always go for conference paper. For the light one, is up to framework or is up to the algorithm or is just a comparative algorithm. But if you have result, then you can go for your journal. And always remember, you need to publish. Because there's always this mantra, publish, don't perish. Okay, so publication is the principal means by which to communicate and disseminate new ideas and finding among researchers and which ultimately lead to the advancement of knowledge. Okay, global yardstick for gauging the reputation of individual researcher. Okay, the publish or perish mantra become a household motto for academician. Among the academician, we always have to say you either publish or you perish. So that's why academic dia memang kena publish. Minimum satu publication per year. If you can maintain minimum publication satu per year, you are in a good spot for your kenaikan pangkat. Okay, so as I said, for kenaikan pangkat, there is no shortcut. Okay, to climbing the academic ladder other than publish. And you might want to have each other. This research area, if you have the common domain, then you can publish with your friend from other institution so that both can get acknowledgement of the research area. Tapi you kena faham tentang etik and professionalism. Okay, if kau masukkan nama aku, and that is not professionalism and you dah breach the ethic. Okay, always include authors that has merit for that, has contribution for the publication. Yeah, if the author does not has merit for the publication, you don't need to include the author's name within the publication. Okay, but then again, you must accomplish publication and help each other for you to climb the academic ladder. Remember, academic ladder needs publication. Okay, my last slide is that to accomplish great things, we must not only act but also dream, not only plan but also believe. Okay, so if you believe that you can do it, inshallah you can do it. But it always start with a dream. Okay, if you dream to be a millionaire, then you plan for how to achieve your dream, and you might also believe in yourself that you can achieve your dream. Okay, so for that, thank you very much, and I open to question and answer. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor T.S. Dr. Rosiati, for the informative and interesting talk. Now, let's continue with our Q&A session. I will read the questions asked by our audience. Okay, from Dr. Nur Hairani, she asks, between Scopus Q1 and WUS Q4, which one is more superior? Prof?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nur Khairani. Definitely we have Scopus Q1. Okay, bila kita dah ada Q1, then Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 does matter. Okay, Q1 usually it has an impact factor. Okay, so quartile 1 is always highest than quartile 4. Okay, even though Scopus slash WOS is higher than Scopus, but okay, quartile supersede the WOS, yeah. So quartile 1 is higher than quartile 4. Dia supersede. Okay, faham? Anu Khaira?
Okay, thank you so much. Another question. So, Professor, how do you know if a conference is a good one?
Okay, how do we want to know that? We always look at the conference call for paper that is indexing. You tengok indexing. If it is indexed by Scopus, that is the highest merit. If it is non-index conference, index paper, then that conference is just networking. Okay, sometimes people are looking at networking together, but during the pandemic, there is no chance for you to meet other people except under online. So if that conference paper is indexed by Scopus, that is the highest merit under the conference level. If it is indexed by Google Scholar, that is the second one. The non-index conference, it is good, but it does not give a good merit to your academic life. Okay, so always look at the conference that is indexed by Scopus for your academic life, so that your edge index will increase if you publish within that conference. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question from Nurul Izati. Assalam, Professor. Does the H index also include the self-citation counts? That is one question. Another question, as a researcher or academician, is it important to have ResearchGate profile too?
Okay, for the first question, Nurul Izati, sometime when you have one paper, for example, you discuss on the framework, and then future work you discuss on the result and discussion, you cannot repeat whatever the information that you have because you already published the framework. So you need that self-citation. Okay, you need that self-citation for you to refer to that particular paper for your future paper. And sometimes self-citation is important. And for the H index, either it's Google Scholar or Scopus, it does include the self-citation. But especially we can under Scopus or Google Scholar, we can put the button, we can tick the button to exclude the self-citation, so it will give you the H index without the self-citation. The H index that I show you just now include the self-citation. Okay, but you can opt not to include the self-citation, so give you H index without self-citation. And definitely H index does include self-citation. Yeah. And then for another question, yes, definitely. For the academician, same as I said just now, the least one you have to do is create your Google Scholar profile. And you have to create research grade profile as well, because research grade profile can create your once you have research grade ID, then you can have OCAD ID as well. As I said just now, probably UITM might want to invite me again so that we can focus on how to create your research gate profile as well, and how to create your WOS profile. It has a different mechanism. And research gate profile, if you already have Facebook, I think the first thing that you want to know is your how you already know how to create your Facebook, you want to update your Facebook and so on. ResearchGate is just almost the same as your Facebook. Okay, you need to create your profile for ResearchGate, and then you can update your profile ResearchGate every single day, as if that you update your Facebook. Because once you have a publication, you can tie it with your ResearchGate. Certain publication is they already, because of the OCAD ID, they already match it with your ResearchGate profile, and it automatically appears in your ResearchGate profile. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question. Okay, how do we find journals related to our fields?
Okay, you can use the search engine. Like say for example, if I want to publish under software testing, then I can just use keyword software testing, and then go into that search engine. But you don't go into search engine for the google.com. If you are under IEEE Explore or under Scopus database, then you can use the search engine within that particular database. So, for example, if you are under Scopus database, you use software testing under Scopus database, then it will give you some of the conference paper and article journals that has associated with the keyword. That's why keyword is important. When you create your Google profile, Google Scholar profile, you need to put your keyword, so that when they key in the keyword, your profile will go the same with your keyword. For when you to publish your paper, that's why they ask you maximum five keywords. Yeah, so keyword is important because it will tie the keyword with your publication. So for example, if I want to publish in software testing, I use keyword software testing. So other scopers, if you put keyword software testing Roziati Ibrahim, then it will give you some of my publication under software testing. So use the keyword within the database, either the Google Scholar database, Scopus database, or your IEEE Explore database. Yeah, keyword is important. Okay.
Another question from Dr. Nurul Akmal. Okay, Professor, how do you set balance between academic demands and also family obligations?
Okay, to me, this is a very good question. It is not easy to set balance between academic demand and family obligations. I tell you a bit more upgrading me. When I want to do my PhD last time, I have two kids. So I bring along my two kids with me, and for my PhD, it was not easy. Balancing between my PhD line and my two kids is not that easy, because as a woman, you are still a mother to the kids. Okay, so you need to somehow rather balance yourself. For me, for example, between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., it is myself. Okay, myself mean that it is the academic demands that you. So if you come back from your office, okay, at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and then that is not your me time already. It's your time with your family. So try not to bring back your work to home. Home is not me time anymore. Okay, so that's how you can somehow already balance yourself, set your time to family, because you need to cook, you need to kemas your rumah, you need to look after your kids, and so on and so forth. So that's balance is not that easy. But the tips that I can give it to you, never bring back. okay, your work to your home. Okay, of course you banyak kerja, tetapi you jangan banyak sangat berborak and banyak sangat pergi makan kat luar and whatsoever. So 8 to 5, focus yourself with your work, work, academic work. You nak publish ke, you nak prepare you punya lecture notes ke, you nak buat marking ke, then buat masih office hours. And then especially now is work from home. So bila work from home, then you banyak interference daripada dia punya dapur, interference daripada you punya anak dan sebagainya. So you kena ada a small home office macam kat saya ni, kat sebelah saya anak saya dia ada kerja kat dia punya tempat kerja, depan saya anak saya dia ada kelas dekat dia punya institution. So saya punya meja makan dining room 8 table ni dah jadi mini office. Mini office meaning that you kena discipline yourself 8 to 5 you still kerja walaupun you berada di rumah. Kalau you macam banyak sangat interference kat rumah untuk 8 to 5, then it's not easy for you to balance. And then banyak benda yang you tak boleh capai sekiranya you banyak sangat tak balancing. So dalam satu hari 24 jam, 8 to 5 is office hours. After 5 o'clock is family time. And 10 o'clock is night time. Kalau you tidur 2 jam, 3 jam pun no point. So kalau you dapat divide 24 jam itu dalam waktu yang ni, then you are in a good spot. I have 4 kids. I have 1 grandson, 1 granddaughter. So managing all these things need time management. Boleh pula nanti kita boleh buat talk tentang time management.
Boleh, okay. Yeah. I also use my dining table too. Okay, another question from Nur Zafifa. The conference which I scout normally mention only selected papers will be considered for Corpus publication. Should I risk sending to this type of conference? Thank you.
Okay, if it is only selected paper, it means that only selected paper that will be published. So you have to be very careful whether you are among the selected paper or not. Okay, so for me, if I see this kind of call for paper, I will not go for this conference because there is a risk. Because you have to remember the amount of time you spend to publish that, to write that paper. Okay, because it's not going to be 24 hours, minimum 1 week for you to somehow write properly write a paper. Okay, so if it is not published, if your paper is not selected, then you are taking a risk because there is a lot of call for paper, there's a lot of conferences. Okay, the one that I showed you just now, IRRTEC, that is definitely published by Scopus. So go for that kind of conference when you see indexing in Scopus and Google Scholar. Yeah.
Okay, another question from Hafizi. Assalamualaikum Prof. Adakah kita boleh menulis paper berkaitan kajian yang pernah dibuat oleh orang lain? Sekiranya boleh, adakah ia dikira sebagai plagiarism?
Okay, you can opt to go for comparative analysis. Saya pernah buat beberapa paper. The first paper PhD student saya always suruh buat comparative analysis for AI techniques. Okay, so bila you buat comparative analysis, you akan buat comparison among like say 4-5 researchers tentang area dia, and then you buat okay, area ni orang dia buat tapi you kena ada timbal balik menyatakan okay, orang ni buat macam gini, these are the output, these are the strength, these are the weakness. Person B buat macam ni, so you boleh produce a paper regarding comparative analysis. But in certain conference, artikel, journal sebagai contoh, dia akan minta turn in. You familiar dengan turn in kan? If you familiar dengan turn in, dia minta turn in less than 15%. Tapi usually comparative analysis dia akan minta less than 17 ataupun 20%. So you tengok dia tengok journal tu sendiri. Usually comparative analysis you akan tengok turn in 15% and below plagiarism ataupun tidak. If it is above 50%, you really have to reword tau. You boleh cite orang tu, tapi reword supaya plagiarism tidak melebihi 15%. Except plagiarism untuk satu paper tidak melebihi 3%. Setiap satu paper you tak boleh melebihi 3%. Setiap paper satu paper tu tak boleh melebihi 15%. Jadi you really have to kalau even though you tulis paper berkaitan orang tu punya paper, you kena rephrase dia punya dia punya sentences so that you tak dapat plagiarism more than 15%. Boleh, tetapi be very careful. Plagiarism cannot be more than 15%. You ada turn in account kan, sebab setiap institution dia mesti ada turn in account where you can check your plagiarism percentage. Ada kan? Ada kan? Semua kali ada plagiarism punya turn in punya account so that you boleh check plagiarism percentage. Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, another question. Okay, from Lalnund. Okay, Madam Professor, what will happen if the journal in which our paper is published but later removed from Corpus index journals?
Ni yang saya cakap tadi kan. Ini maksudnya you bernasib tidak baik lah. Yang ini memang tak boleh orang kata tak boleh kita tak tahu kan masa contoh yang Jatit tadi kan. Saya ada student saya publish dekat Jatit tu. Student PhD saya publish kat Jatit. At that point in time, it is indexed by Scopus. And then after when it is published, suddenly Scopus tarik balik that index by Corpus, so dia index by Google Scholar sahaja. Itu memang tak boleh benda tu akan terjadi, it happens, but then you tak boleh nak buat apa-apa lah sebab benda tu dah memang Scopus is very rigid about it. It has certain rules that you boleh publish tetapi you tak tahu sama ada dia dah discontinued by Scopus ataupun tidak. Once it is discontinued, then there's nothing much that you can do, because it just has been removed. Okay, memang tak boleh buat apa-apa.
Okay, another question. Why the journal impact ranking in our local university is based on WUS but not Scopus? Okay,
tadi saya ada cakapkan kita ada non-index, lepas tu kita ada index by Google Scholar, lepas tu index by Scopus and then index by WOS. So WOS database is higher than Scopus database. Kalau you WOS dia impact dia adalah lebih tinggi daripada Scopus. So because of that, not just our university, it's just that demand by MOHE, Ministry of Higher Education. If you dengar taklimat dia ada taklimat online pada awal tahun kan, dia ada menyatakan kita tidak tengok kepada quantity, we are looking at the quality. Okay, so once it is about quality, then WOS is a more higher merit compared to Scopus, and that's why they are looking at the impact with the WOS, not Scopus, because of the quality one, not the quantity.
Okay, for a new lecturer, which one is to be given priority? Publication of journal papers or attending conferences?
Okay. You need to tight with your requirements. Okay, for the new, if you are DS 45, okay, the requirement is I don't know about your institution, but usually the requirement is only to publish one paper per year. Okay, so to publish one paper per year, that is index in Scopus sebagai contoh. Okay, so index in Scopus, the easiest acceptance rate is of course conference compared to journal. Okay, so you kena tengok beberapa faktor. Satu, the acceptance rate. Dua, the difficulties of you to go into conference paper atau article journal. Conference paper sebagai contoh IEEE Explore, maximum is 6 pages. Okay, article journal, it could be 12 pages or 13 pages. It depends on your thing. Even conference paper, if you only have framework, you can publish it to conference paper. So it is more easier to publish to conference paper compared to article journal. So to me, for example, I started with the S45 last time. I opt to go for conference paper first. For me to get that feeling, because sometimes if you are an academician, the first paper got rejected, you feel down. Terus you rasa, malah lah aku nak publish, asyik kena reject je. So you you have that kind of feeling tau. Rejection is not part of you punya passion. So kalau you publish paper asyik kena reject pun you akan jadi down, the motivation is not there. That's why go for, not that I said that journal is not that good, go for conference paper first, because it will give your motivation, your spirit high tau, so that you was, paper aku dah dapat accepted, aku boleh publish, I can go to this conference, and that, because that reflection of yourself, motivation, your confidence level will be very high if once it get accepted. And then bila dah accepted, conference paper dah accepted, you publish, and for your second article, go for journal. Okay, jangan pergi semua conference paper saja, because it's not good. Okay, it's not good for your profile, it's not good for your kenaikan pangkat. Once your first paper got accepted, then go for article journal. Okay, so that because you have your confidence level is already high, motivation is there, then you can write more pages, 15 pages for the article journal. Yeah.
Okay. So our new lecturers, you can start by searching for conference papers first. Okay, another question from Professor Dr. Faiza. Any tips to increase Corpus index? Professor?
Hi, Prof. Dr. Faiza. Okay, the tips. This is because it's recording, so sometimes we really want to people to cite our paper lah, but sometimes friends also have, we the same area. Okay, for example, if I am A and B is from other institution, I will cite B paper and B will cite A paper. That is one of the technique lah, but with the same area. Okay, so basically if I said about AI, then I know that B is using AI in this particular area, so I can cite his paper for using the AI, and he can also cite my paper for using AI. Okay, that is one of the tip lah to increase your citation, your index, Scopus index. Scopus index is always about citation. Okay, there is two ways of doing it. The easiest way, the easiest way is that you ask other people to cite your paper and you cite the paper, and self citation. And self citation is important, but self citation you have to remember within the same area. If you are doing the implementation, then you self cited your paper for that framework. That will also increase your H index. But then again, you have to understand about the ethic and the professionalism. Okay, you cannot self-cited if it is not within the area, and you cannot ask people to cite your paper if that people doesn't want to. That person that doesn't want to cite your paper, then you cannot scold him or whatever. It depends on individuality whether they want to cite, he or she want to cite your paper, whether it is within the same area. But then the more professional answer is that always go for the open access publication. Okay, if it is a bit more expensive, but if it is an open access publication, okay, for example, IEEE access, people can download your paper freely. Okay, and then once it is open access publication, people can download your paper freely, and they can cite your paper more easily because they can read your paper, and then it is an open access. So go for an open access publication as well. And another tip is that in your research gate profile, Okay, in the ResearchGate profile, you update your publication in ResearchGate profile, because ResearchGate is just like your Facebook. Okay, you tag your publication with ResearchGate so that people can download. If it is open access, you use the DOI. Okay, usually if it is open access, the Springer, for example, will guide you to use the DOI and publish it under ResearchGate. Because open access has DOI. Once it has DOI, it means that it's an open access. Okay, with that DOI, put it in ResearchGate. Okay, you put in ResearchGate, then it will easily downloaded. Then people can download via the journal homepage, or people can download via your ResearchGate profile. Just the same as your Facebook, ResearchGate profile will help you a lot in terms of disseminate your publication to other researchers. Okay.
Okay, very good tips there. Okay, another question. Okay, what is the difference between conference proceedings and conference paper?
Okay, when you want to submit your paper, it is a conference paper. Okay, so for example, IRRTEC, it was in August. So August, you have to present your paper, conference paper. You have to present your paper virtually, either via webinar or whatsoever. So that is your conference paper. It has not been published yet. Okay, so you cannot disseminate your conference paper because it has not been published. But when it published, then they call it conference proceeding, IOP. Okay, for example, under the Scopus is IOP. For example, the one that I showed to you, IRTEC, it's a conference proceeding that is being published. Your paper is what you submit it to that conference and you present it during the conference. But at the end of the day, after few months, your paper will be published in the conference proceeding. So under Myra, for example, under Myra or under publication, they don't count the publication by the conference paper. They count the publication by the conference proceeding. And for example, if the paper, the conference is in 2020, but the proceeding appears in 2021, okay, the counted one is the paper in 2021. The counted one is the proceeding in 2021, not the paper, yeah. The proceeding is important.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, another one would be what's the difference between a conference abstracts and a conference paper?
Okay, certain conference, when you want to submit, they usually ask you the abstract. Okay, and then after they accept the abstract, you have to submit the full paper. The abstract is just your executive summary within the paper. Okay, usually they will publish the abstract first, and then you can download the full paper. Okay, after you read the abstract, same like your thesis. If you want to be the examiner, they will give the abstract of the thesis. And if you read the abstract and you understand what is going on, that is within your domain. Once you read the abstract, you already know that this paper is all about. Then you can download the paper or the thesis. Abstract just gambaran besar, the big pictures and the big pictures of the story of your paper. A full paper is your paper. Yeah.
Conference paper. Okay. Then going back to that conference proceedings. Okay, so do conference proceedings have impact factor, Professor?
Usually no. Okay, only journal has an impact factor. Proceeding, conference paper, usually it only indexed by Google Scholar or Scopus most of the time. Okay, only article journal has an impact factor with quartile. Okay, but there is you have to be very careful. Some conferences, like just now they said, selected paper will be published in journal. So that selected paper, if it is published in journal with impact factor, then it can be with impact factor. Meaning that not all conference paper will be published in that journal. Only selected one will be published in that journal, and it has an impact factor. Journal has an impact factor, not conference. So usually from conference paper, you can convert it to article journal with impact factor. That is okay. Yeah, but not the conference paper itself.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think one last question. Okay, can a conference paper be published in a journal?
Can what? Saya tengah
Can a
baca komen
conference
ni.
can a conference paper be published in a journal?
Yes, definitely. Just one I told you some conference paper dia akan kata okay, the publication will be published in a journal A B C. Sometimes memang ada dia akan cakap dalam, that's why you kena tengok call for paper. That's why dia kena tengok call for paper itu sama ada dia di publication dia adalah IOP, which is proceeding, ataupun publication dia adalah terus kepada jurnal. Certain conference publication dia terus kepada jurnal. That's why call for paper tu penting untuk you tengok dia publication dia kat mana. Saya ada satu ni yang saya more interesting kat sini. Salam Prof, saya ingin bertanya soalan di luar topik sikit. Okay, yang tu mungkin you tak pick up tapi saya boleh jawab sebab saya rasa ada masa lagi. Saya ada plan nak sambung master. Okay, you dah buat yang ni. Saya ada plan nak sambung master. Adakah kalau saya sambung pengajian perlu jadi lecturer academician? Bolehkah kalau ada masa saja nak jadi lecturer? Okay, saya always bagi kepada tips kepada student saya. Kalau because bila dia ada projek sarjana muda dah pergi ke LI, saya akan beritahu pada pelajar saya, you nak kerja atau you nak jadi akademik, you nak pergi kepada akademik lain. Kalau you nak kerja, then after your degree go straight to go kerja for industry. Tetapi kalau you are very determined to be a lecturer, then further up your masters and further up your PhD. Okay, sebab saya tak sure sekarang punya ni, kalau dulu kalau master with master you dah boleh jadi DS45. Saya tak sure sekarang, sebab macam dekat universiti kita orang kita tak boleh, you mesti ada PhD terus DS51. Okay, tapi ada institution with master dia boleh jadi lecturer, dia boleh dapat DS45. Saya tak sure yang which institution, tetapi ada institution yang masih praktiskan DS45 dengan master. And then after that they send you for your PhD, for you to get your PhD, and then you dapat DS52. If you dapat 45, you dapat 52. Tetapi if you ada PhD terus, then you boleh pergi kepada DS51. Again, saya tak sure at this point in time. Sebagai contoh, our university kita dah tak ambil 45, kita ambil 51. So kita ambil pensyarah with PhD. But certain institution dia ada ambil pensyarah with master. So my advice is that if you are really certain that you want to be an academician, go for your masters and PhD. If not, then better pergi ke industry after your degree. Yeah.
The question. Salam Prof, is it better for us to direct submit to journal itself because we can confirm publication in Corpus compared through conference which mentions selected paper only be published in Corpus?
To me, you better go direct to get publication in Corpus. Okay, because kalau tidak you have to see dia ada your paper is selected or not, and then you have put certain amount of effort. Tapi usually in conferences dia akan cakap publication, dia akan cakap conference paper fees for that conference is 900. If it has been selected and it's going to be published in ABC Scopus, you have to top up 450 ringgit. Ada juga conference cakap macam itu. So you have to remember that once it's accepted and it's selected to the Scopus, you have to top up another 450. Yang itu pun there is a risk for you to bear the expenses lah of the extra expenses to add your paper for that journal. So to me kalau dah macam conference paper macam itu, dia banyak hanky-panky, dia banyak sangat red tape, but you just go for that journal itself. Bayar dia terus kepada situ. Kalau dia accepted, dia akan review, dia akan suruh you buat modification based on comment, and then you modify based on comment and then submit. Itu lagi senang to deal with because the article publication fees dah certain that amount. So dah tak perlu fikir whether it's selected or not. It's rejected or accepted. That's all. If accepted, then you have to address the comment and that's it. Okay?
you so much. Okay, I think that's all. I would like to remind all of you to scan the QR code for attendance. Okay. Thank you so much, Professor T.S. Dr. Rosiati, for answering the question. Is there anything else you would like to mention or add, Professor?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for the UITM Segamat for giving me the opportunity to share my experience, to share my talk with the audience and with the staff of the universities and the webinar series. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we have come to the end of our webinar. We would like to thank our speaker, Professor T.S. Dr. Rosiati, for the informative and interesting talk, and to our audience for your active participations. Hopefully, this webinar will be beneficial to everyone. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and have a very good day, everyone.